but I don't have too much to do. That was a rather abrupt stop. I was going to try to slow it down a little bit there, but I guess that'll do. There we go. Oh, that professional quality. Welcome to the Superior Stream, episode 14. I'm going to try to start giving titles to my streams, so there's kind of an idea of what's going on, but I don't want to be too specific. I'll have it. There'll be a hint of ambiguity. But yeah, episode 14, Clanwars and other related vidya. Where to even begin? It's been a busy new year for me. On that note, Happy New Year. We're in the glorious 2016s now, as I feel another year older. Although my birthday was a couple months back. I'm excited. I'm going to try to hopefully put out more content here in the coming months. But at the tail end of December, I got involved in World of Tanks again, and that game just sucks up more hours of my life than I'm willing to be comfortable with admitting to. But it's just the way things go sometimes. Subsequently, I also got involved in the 4th campaign, and it's basically, for the uninitiated, in World of Tanks, every so often they'll have a campaign, which basically is an excuse to play World of Tanks a whole lot. It's very competitive, very tough, tournaments against other good clans. So I'm in that kind of position right now where every night I'm fighting against the best of the best kind of clans, usually, although sometimes we run into some not so good clans, but for the most part, really competitive, really fun, tankery, lots of tactics and strategy and all that good stuff. And I'm having a blast, and luckily, thank goodness, it'll be over soon. Another 4 or 5 days, I think, and Clanwars is going to wrap up. And hopefully, if my points are high enough, I'll win a prize tank, and I'll see if I can't do a stream or something to show off my new toy, my lovely prize tank. But so that'll be if I win. I'm still in the running right now, but my clan, I don't know, we've been faltering the past 2 days, so we're gonna have to pick up the pace, so to speak. But where to begin? I was gonna go ahead and talk about Alan Rickman and David Bowie both dying. But the sad fact is, I'm not too familiar with a lot of their bodies of work. I'm a bit more familiar with Alan Rickman, in the Bruce Willis movie, Die Hard. Of course, everyone's going to talk about his Harry Potter showing. I actually liked him quite a bit in the movie Dogma, but I don't know, that's one of those Jay and Silent Bob kind of movies, so it kind of goes under the radar. But yeah, Alan Rickman, great actor. And he just disappeared very quickly. Like, nobody expected to have him just go like that. And of course, he was pretty old. I'll give him that. But, it seems like it was just so sudden. It was out of the blue. And same with David, although David Bowie was pretty old. And what was strange is he had an album come out right before he died. So that was also very spooky, tinfoily kind of stuff. People were asking why was he doing that right before his death? Was there some kind of hidden meaning in the song and all that? And like I said, I wish I was more in tune with David Bowie, but I'm not familiar with his body of work. But from what I've heard, he's supposed to be a pretty cool guy. Oh jeez. But yeah, that's all. That's pretty sad. But what have I been up to? For Christmas, I was also real busy working on a painting for my neighbor as a Christmas present. So that's why I don't think the December show was that good. It was satisfactory. Although I talk like this show is going to be something better. I was going to say what would be my New Year's resolutions, and like I said, that would just be to put out more content. And really, to do that, I have to buckle down and just focus on it. I've been playing a lot of video games lately, and that eats up time. What I'm gonna have to do, I think, is go back to focusing more on streaming because I was streaming a lot of games as of late, but then I was like, I got to focus on other stuff and work and so forth, and it just cut into my time. There's only so many hours in the day where I can just dick around, so to speak. But yeah, that'll be my New Year's resolution. I'm gonna put out more content. I'm gonna hopefully up the quality of said content, and maybe hopefully find some voice, some other person to talk to. A lot of the old group is busy with family stuff, so I'm one of the few people left who actually I think have any creative juice left in them who want to actually create something. If that's if I can say that. Of course, I know having a family takes it out of you. You gotta drop what you're doing and focus on your spouse, on your children, on keeping up your house. It's if you want to pursue any kind of art, like something where you truly enjoy what you're doing, it it's gonna take dedication. Like I'm gonna have to like if I really want to do more stuff like this and really just have fun doing what I do, I'm gonna have to do it more and work on it. But that's about all I got there. Oh, but yeah, back to World of Tanks, and like I don't want to turn this into a World O Tanks podcast, so I won't stay on this forever. And this podcast is probably pretty short. Maybe I'll go for an hour if that. I don't think I'm gonna be on here too long because I actually have some more Clan Wars coming up later on the night, so I can't be on here forever. It's draining me. That's the one word I can use. I'm drained of energy. My enthusiasm for tanks is faltering. It's rough tankery, but at the same time, like I said, it's also some of the most competitive tanking I've done in a while. And like I said, that's what really draws me to the game is that competitive nature. Going up against some of the best players in the league. Uh, and just having fun. Being at the peak of performance really is the best way to talk about it. But like I said, it saps my energy because we'll start at like 6 o'clock, and depending on how many fights we have, it can last all the way up until like 12 o'clock at night. So it's like a solid 6 hours of or half an hour to oh boy, half an hour 45 minutes between matches where we do strategy and talk about like who we're gonna do next and fight and stuff, and it's really and well not I would not say a solid 6 hours, but it'll be like probably a good 15 minutes of very focused tankery, and then like half an hour to 30 minutes kind of stuff. But like I said, it's what keeps me coming back to the game. But enough about tanks. I don't want to talk about tanks anymore if I can help it. What I want to talk about. What do I want to talk about? I want to talk about some censorship on behalf of Nintendo. I was going to talk about this with Mr. Bogans, Mr. B Baggins, but he is a Nintendo fanboy if there ever was one. And I don't think he was too keen on the prospect of discussing why Nintendo sucks. And I don't want to harp too bad on Nintendo. Like of all the companies, they are decidedly the least. I would say least scrupulous. They're not actively destroying the gaming. I guess how we call it gaming scene. Whereas EA or BioWare is just some of the actions they've been taking are rather cringeworthy. More cringeworthy than myself, I would argue. But let's see. Let's first look at Fire Emblem Fates. So that's before I digress too far and get way off the beaten path. Let's see. I'll pull up a link for us here in just a second. As soon as I can grab it here. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. We'll call this one Internets. It's like, how many times am I going to have to do the same things over and over? And, okay, that looks good. Oop, there we are. Fire Emblem Fates. Alright, this is courtesy of Mr. posted by Andrew Stretch. Okay, so I'll go ahead and give his 2 cents on it. I think his ideas kind of line up with mine, but we'll see here in a second. I'll critique, and whenever I jump out of his voice, I'll try to let folks know so it doesn't sound disjointed as I'm reading through here. Yesterday, we released an article talking about changes that are being made to the Western localization of Fire Emblem Fates. The change is specifically about a sequence of conversations that happen as the player character improves their relationship with companion Solilil. There was an uproar made about this interaction way back when the game originally released in 2015, and in the lead up to the game's February 19th release, has released its ugly head yet again. I added a yet into there. Originally, when Nintendo was asked about the dialogue in Fire Emblem, they responded that the North American and European version of the game will have no expression which might be considered as gay conversion or drugging that occurs between characters. To help explain the statement, they released a larger statement to Siliconera, which reads, "Making changes is not unusual when we localize games, and we indeed made changes in these games. When we localize a game, we do so in order to make it appropriate for the particular territory. All of our choices were made from that point of view." In the Conquest Edition, a male character created by the gamer can pair up with another male character, Niles, which ultimately leads to marriage. Similarly, in the Birthright Edition, a female main character created by the gamer can pair up with and eventually marry another female character, Rahat, whatever her name is. Like married couples of the opposite gender, the same-sex couples enjoy the stat boosts that come with marriage, which means that when they are paired up in battle, they are stronger than when they are apart, paired up with another character. In the 3rd edition Revelation, that will be released as DLC in the eShop on March 10th, a same-sex marriage is possible regardless of the sex of your main character, as both Niles and Rashfat can be encountered in this edition. So, scrolling on down, this statement from Nintendo is clear that... this statement from Nintendo is a clear statement. Let's see if I can maximize this page a little bit. Screen. Boop. There we go. In case you were having trouble reading before. This statement is a clear statement that a characteristic such as the sexual orientation you assign your character is completely up to the player. The inclusion of equal stat boosts also show that there is no in-game penalty applied to whomever you wish to marry. It is also good to keep in mind that It is also good to keep in mind that all we know is that the scene involved with Cilio is that it is being changed. No one has yet seen how the scene is being changed. Okay. So basically, what was going on, and what they're talking about originally, regarding the drugging scene, there was a part where there's a girl who gets infatuated with other girls when she sees them on the battlefield. So this dude slips her a drink, I believe. Hold on. Let me get another article up here, which will kind of explain it better than I do. Boop. This one is from Andrew Eisen. Oh, that wonderful voice of his. Fire Emblem Fates, the latest Nintendo long-running strategy RPG series, released in Japan last spring and is due to release here in the States on February 19th. Let's see if he tackles it here. Okay, reportedly, alright, here we go. Reportedly, one of the female characters is nervous about pretty girls, so another male character slips a magic powder into her drink that alters her perception so that she sees everyone as the opposite gender. Okay, there we go. I forget how... It's a kooky Japanese thing. Just roll with it. That alters her perception so that she sees everyone as the opposite gender. She then falls in love with the female version of the character who gave her the potion and marries him. Okay, and then basically that is seen as gay conversion therapy, which I guess in a kind of a long-winded way you can kind of verse it as that, since he slips like the drug into her drink unbeknownst to her. But at the same time, it's also Japanese, and whenever you see like a bizarre situation like this, if you watch any amount of anime, you'll know that there's a certain kind of humor that comes with Japanese media that if you just glance at it at a glance, it looks kind of goofy, but it's just part of their culture. So it's that weeaboo kind of goofiness that you can only find in Japanese content. But anyway, thanks Andrew Eisen for giving me the little explanation there. But I'll go ahead and give him some more press here. Let's go ahead and pull him up. According to Nintendo, in a statement released to Nintendo's World Report, in the version of the game that ships to the US and Europe, there is no expression which might be considered as gay conversion or drugging that occurs between the characters. Right, that's what we had from that other article. Of course, that doesn't mean the side story, characters, or relationship options have been excised from the international release. A read of the translation from the entire side story over at Niche Gamer, thanks Trusty Jim, he says, so I guess that's somebody else he works with, shows that the grosser elements of this portion of the game could easily be remedied with a few simple dialogue tweaks. Then again, you never know what Nintendo will do. Oh, how you are so right, Mr. Eisen. If you don't know who Andrew Eisen is, he also does some shows as well online. He has a wonderful voice. If you want to YouTube, Google him, however you want to find him. Close that down. Boop. So yeah, Nintendo's censorship of Fire Emblem Fates. They also removed another part, which I don't have here in a quick link, but the petting, which is a bit goofy. And then it is again another one of those weebish kind of things where you pet a character, but at the same time, I how would I say it's not the most well, all right. It's I guess it's kind of played as erotic by some circles. I don't really see it as erotic. It's another one of those Japanese things that's just kind of goofy. So them removing the petting feature from Fire Emblem Fates, like I said, it is goofy and doesn't really play into the whole scheme of Fire Emblem as a whole. I don't think, but I don't think there's also any reason to get rid of it. It's why have it, why not have it? It's a toss up for me. But as someone who doesn't really play Fire Emblem, this story doesn't affect me too much. I'm not going to play the game. I wasn't going to buy it with or without the uncensored content. It's just it's not my particular cup of tea, which is strange because I actually do like turn-based strategy games. I'm big on Advance Wars and Advance Wars 2 and pretty much every intelligent design game, but not Fire Emblem. I guess I get real antsy. I bite my cheeks and my tongue whenever I have a character die and have to reload a save, and for me, I see that as time consuming. So that's why I don't bother with the Fire Emblem series too terribly much. What else? What else do we have here? But here, let me go up. Well, we'll move right along because, like I said, I just want to talk on a few different things. Yandere simulator, Yandere simulator. Let me get this up here. If it will pull up. There we go. Okay, Yandere Simulator banned from Twitch, the courtesy of Sean Joy. I'll go ahead and read this here as well. So thanks, Sean Joy. Those looking to watch someone to play their fantasies of their favorite yandere waifu took a bit of a blow today as Twitch updated their list of prohibited games. Because you can't have your waifu stabbing other waifus. That might trigger some folks. But as stated in by Yandere Dev himself, Yandere Simulator has been banned from streaming on the Twitch platform. This adds to an ever-growing list that includes indie sensation, Huni Pop, Criminal Girls, and Hatred. But what's unknown about this time is why exactly it has gotten banned from the service. While Twitch has specific guidelines in place regarding adult content, no information was given by Twitch on exactly what Yandere Simulator does to get it banned. In fact, Twitch has absolutely no communication with the developer on the banning, as he indicated that he found out via a friend. For those who are unaware of the game, Yandere Simulator has you trying to get the love of your precious senpai and dealing with any competition in possibly violent ways. And keyword on possibly, but we'll get back to that in a little bit. So here's Sean Joy. Right here, Twitch didn't communicate with you whatsoever regarding the ban, and Yandere Dev came out of the blue. I didn't get an email or anything. I had to hear about it from a friend. So, again, a rock smacked right into Yandere Dev's head. Okay, while there have been games that have been streamed on the service that have featured nudity, for example, Twitch specifically says that nudity can't be a core focus or feature of the game in the question. Okay, so Yandere Dev the Yandere Sim does have nudity, but I would argue from what I've seen of the gameplay, it's not really a core feature. So I don't think it was banned for nudity. Let's see. He goes on, the worst thing I can see regarding Yandere Simulator, besides the mod for nudity, but other games such as Skyrim have nude mods as well, is a shower section that has the sensitive parts of the person in question blurred out thanks to soap bubbles. The creator seems open to adjust the game to allow it to be streamed, as seen below. The game has been played by such YouTube personalities as Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, whoever those guys are. If a @Twitch support is willing to start a dialogue about this decision, perhaps we can discuss what might make the game unacceptable for Twitch. So that's Yandere Dev. Of course, trying to reach out to Twitch. Of course, TechRaptor is contacting Twitch to try and get clarification on what exactly rules have been broken here, or what content is considered okay for their service. And we'll update the story if we get a response from Twitch. So, as of right now, so this was on January 21st. So it's been at least, let's see, at least like a week or two. Let's see, right, at least 2 weeks. And what does let's see, list of prohibited games. Let's look at this real quick. This is a list of what Twitch has deemed as inappropriate. Okay, so let me go over a list of these games here. Artificial Academy 1 and 2. And I don't know about that game, but it sounds like some weeaboo kind of game, which you might have, girls of an underage variety having coitus interactions. And there's Battle Rape. So I can only assume that maybe the rape has something to do with the reason this game was banned. BMX Triple X, which I'm actually familiar with that game. It's a BMX title that has topless girls in it. But in all honesty, this game came out, I think, like in the early 2000s, before jiggle physics had been really perfected. So what you really got were blow-up doll tier women smashing around on BMX bikes. It was really an egregious title, not for the nudity, but just for the poorly done graphics. Cobra Club, which sounds seductive, but I'll have to look into that one later. Criminal Girls, something to do with girls, so perhaps some kind of something. Dramatical Murder. That sounds like a game to play. I'll save a list of these games for future reference, because some of these are sounding pretty good. Dramatical Murder. Okay, what else? Gezo 1 and 2, Huni Pop, which I've heard about. Huni Pop's a puzzle game. It's I don't know. It's out there, but I wouldn't want to put any money on it. Kamidori Akalkami Meester, which I'm assuming is another little waifu simulator. Purin to Ohuro, Rapeplay. Okay, Rapeplay is pretty obvious. That one basically you rape people. So I can see why Twitch might not want that one. Rinse and Repeat. Okay, I'll look into that one. That one sounds pretty good. I'll do a review on all these supposedly rapey games. Sakura Angels, Sakura Beach 1 and 2, Sakura Santa, Sakura Spirits, and Sakura Fantasy. So if you're not familiar with the Sakura series, it's I've recently seen these released on Steam. So I'm questioning exactly how dirty they are. Although I know that if you patch these games, you can actually get some nudity back in them that was more or less removed. So supposedly, maybe some nudity that was in these games got them banned. But again, from what I've seen of the Sakura series, that's very softcore stuff, like on par with probably Kadowa Shoujo almost. But anyway, continuing forward, Sakura Swim Club, Second Life. Why would they? Well, if you're not familiar with Second Life, basically it's a game where anybody can upload any kind of 3D model of anything. So I can imagine there being some janky things you may encounter in Second Life. So, yeah, the Guy Game. Okay, I'll look into that one later as well. The Guy Game. What's under your blanket? ? Exclamation point. I'll look into that one too. That sounds like a winner. That's Game of the Year right there. Witch Trainer and Yandere Simulator, of course, now. In addition to the above, we also prohibit all versions of games rated adults only according to ESRB's rating guide, including the following: Hatred, Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy Director's Cut, and Manhunt 2 Uncut. Okay, so if you're not familiar, those games are made by Western devs for the most part. They're bloody and violent, and I guess they're too violent for Twitch because they have the adult-only rating and they got them banned. But thanks again, Sean Joy, for the wonderful article. I think I have another thing here. This may also be by Andrew Eisen, because he's about the only guy who contributes to game politics. We'll see here in a second. Yep, another Andrew Eisen. I can't do his voice. It's too milky. Let's see. But I think he more or less goes on the same rant that the other guy does. But yeah, Yandere Dev. But let me go ahead and give my 2 cents, since that's supposedly what this thing is for. I'm not just here to read off internet articles, as easy as that is. As from what I've seen of Yandere Simulator, from what I've seen, it's more of like a tongue-in-cheek kind of poking fun at Japanese culture and memes. You'll see a lot of please notice me senpai, lots of stereotypical storylines from animes. Like, for instance, I guess a kind of a yandere culture thing is, killing your opposing love interest and hiding them away, so you get the all of the attention from your senpai. Of course, what is senpai? Senpai basically is a word that means like a guy you really want to be with. I believe. Let me make sure I have the right. I may be using that word in the wrong context. Senpai. Senpai. Let's see. Here we go. Urban Dictionary. uh, someone who will never notice you. All right. An upperclassman used in relation to fellow classmates of a higher level of age. It can be used like chan or san, as well as by itself, as like Yurameshi senpai or just senpai. But yeah. But basically, it's a word used to kind of denote like you're looking up to someone and you admire them and in some sort of capacity. Usually in the yandere sense, um, it's the yandere, the girl wanting the guy to notice them, and they'll go to whatever lengths are necessary to get them noticed. And like I said, from what I've seen, there is violence. You can stab girls. You can push them off buildings. You can, I think, you can inject them with poison. You can like berate them and cause them to kill themselves. There's a number of different ways you can eliminate your love competition. But let me close that out. But like I said, of all those violent like methods, at the same time, it's still kind of like in my mind very tongue in cheek. So it's nothing I could really take seriously as like over the top gore. Like in my mind, it's RoboCop tier, where it's just so ridiculous and over the top, you just have to laugh at it. But you know what? It's Twitch's policy; they can ban whatever they like. Like I said, I just sometimes you have to roll your eyes. Is this really something you want to ban? You know, but. I don't know. Would I buy Yandere Simulator? It doesn't really tickle my biscuits, to be honest. But at the same time, I wouldn't want someone else banned from streaming it on Twitch because of sensibilities of some folks. But oh well. That's it for my talk on Yandere Simulator. But like I said, if you're curious about Yandere Simulator, give it a Google. Basically, like I said, it's a stealth romance murder game. If that sounds like that might tickle your whiskers, give it a go. It like I said, it doesn't not going to do anything for me. This is more inside January here, although I think it started back here in December. Let me go ahead and pull it up, and that is the. Again, I'm just hitting these topics and going, aren't I? Let's see if we can. If it will allow me. You're probably looking at a black screen right now. Refresh. Okay, here we go. And we'll try this again. Okay, now let's try it. There we go. It's like I just use TechRaptor for everything, don't I? Let me get this guy to fit the screen here. Chain Reaction, The Fine Brothers Saga. Okay, so I'll kind of refer to the article as I go through this one because there's not too much to this story. Basically, the Fine Brothers, who created React World, a licensing program whereby content creators would give a share of their income in exchange for rights to use structural elements and assets from the company's popular line. But concerns abound regarding the potential for serious abuses, which the Content ID claims only inflamed. YouTube itself was already the center of controversy over its algorithm-managed copyright enforcement system, which often seems to be too capricious and easily abused. This worry was exacerbated to a fever pitch when both brothers openly demanded their viewers call out rip-offs of their format. So basically, if you watch something on the internet and then you make a video of your reaction to it, that's what they're trying to claim is copyrighted or is their intellectual idea, which is of course completely fucking stupid. But let's continue. Such as used by TV personality Ellen DeGeneres for her own React segment, which had borne no resemblance to the Fine Brothers format. From Reddit to Twitter, public reaction from the scheme was decidedly negative. Oh, I wonder why, despite the efforts of the cooler heads. Even a law firm weighed in on the subject. Comparisons to Sony's try at trademarking Let's Play were raised as well. And that's a whole other kettle of fish I may get into as well, since they've mentioned it. Let's see. But titular community heads Benny and Rafi Fine said they attempted to clarify their positions with a short video, which they have since taken down along with other React World-related videos. Too short, really. The furor had been caused by concern and confusion over legal matters, which neither Fine discussed at any length. Instead, they went with smiles and reassurances. This was a non-specific Rafi directed viewers to go watch our videos to find out what assets the licensing system would allow use of. Many felt that it was all smacked of a huge shakedown. So basically, there's like title windows and I guess little boxes you can use, although I'm not sure if they're specifically assets that only React, or the Fine brothers I should say, have access to, or that you would necessarily be able to not create yourself. So basically, if you can put a window up on like the top corner of your video showing the video, and then the rest of the screen inhabiting it being your reaction to said video, and or not even showing the video you're reacting to, is that really so like not inspired? It's really, in my opinion, a crappy video. Why do I want to watch someone else's reaction? But to each his own. If you want to make that kind of content, far be it from me to not say to make that content. I know, although what I'm doing here is not too terribly far of a stretch away from those React videos. Although I'm trying to give some hopefully compelling commentary. My voice in a sea of other people who disagree with this kind of copyright bulldoggedness. But let me get back to the article here. Let's see. So let's see what at the Fine Bros. Good on you guys. I think this was the right move to make. Let's see. Reactions to the Fine Brothers' reactions to public react. All right, here we go. Reactions to the Fine Brothers' reaction to public reaction to their React World concept. Is that on purpose? Did he write it that way? I hope not. Say that the 5 times fast. Yeah, he did. Have been gradually appreciative. Okay, so let's see what the rest of this is. On behalf of the YouTube community, we thank you for doing the right thing. Wishing you the best as you pick up the pieces. It's important to note here, like as of my saying this, they've lost like 500,000 subscribers or something ridiculous like that. Let's see, what is this guy? Gentleman Game says they aren't doing it out of the kindness of their hearts, though. They're doing it because the internet reacted. Oh, the irony. Regardless of the motives, they still did the right thing rather than exercise the trademark. So people's reaction to their React copyright was not the reaction they were hoping for. Oh, sweet irony. So what do you think of all this? Let us know in the comments below. I don't know. I'll have to give my reaction. Let's see. I maybe might do that later. And edit. Let's see here. Let's see. Update. An editing error initially resulted in the claim that 1 million people had already unsubscribed. Currently, the number is just over 300,000. Okay, so I was wrong, right? It's not 500,000. It's only 300,000. Goodness. But still, a hefty number of folks have said no thank you. So thanks again. What's his name here? Scott Malcolmson. Thanks for the little bit of the correction there in my behalf. Although maybe it's even gotten worse than 300,000 since the last check. So who knows? No, I just want to burn through this episode. Be a Kuaz. I got Clanwars tonight, and I can't be online all night. So what do we got next here? Tales of Symphonia. Another wonderful TechRaptor article. Can I get anything outside of TechRaptor? No. They're my favorite. Okay, let's try this. Let's get this show going. Let's get this fire cooking. There we go. If I can get it up here. I'm exceptionally good at screwing up. There we are. And we'll fit it to screen. And who do we have to thank for this one? Mr. Dan Parsons. They got a few different writers for this website. So here we are again, a bad PC port, and it's one that's likely to cause a lot of blood boiling because it's a classic game, Tales of Symphonia. Alright, let me give a brief pause for a second. I played Tales of Symphonia on the GameCube. It's not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination, but I had to comment on this because it's a game I did play. It's satisfactory. It's definitely no Star Ocean, despite what some might argue. But let me go ahead and continue. Actually, we have to start this report with the name itself because while it was advertised to pre-orders of the Tales of Zestiria as being a Tales of Symphonia HD, the HD part of the series seems to have been dropped unceremoniously and without notification to them. And that's probably a good thing because, well, there's nothing high definition about this port. Alright, let's start off with the idea of high definition in fact. There's a reason this game has its auto resolution set to 720p, and that's because if you tell it to go to 1080p, what you're going to get is an upscaled 720p images lazily put up. In fact, it's one part of the options menu that was poorly implemented and led to some of the stuff going off screen. My goodness. Of course, the resolution is unlikely to be the first thing you notice if you end up with this game. What you will notice is as soon as you launch the game is a long wait time. Get used to that if you decide to want to play this game. Every time you want to change options, save, load, or start a new game, you're looking at up to 30 seconds. Oh my goodness. And this is, of course, like ripping straight from your hard drive speeds. Each time, of course, I suggest having a book with you when playing this game or something else because you aren't going to want to alt-tab with this because it does not take well to that in general. So great. So not only does the game have atrocious load times, but alt-tabbing is going to crash it. So, in short, the time testing this game so far, in my short time I found testing the game so far. So, their support says that the delay is on Windows 7, which is what I'm using on this PC, but they state that the delay only occurs when saving. On launching the game, or going to the settings menu, I also face that 20 seconds delay of pain. So there's a bit of discrepancy with what they're reporting on the support page versus what is actually happening. I've not played this game myself, so maybe some people's mileage may vary. But let's go forward here. Nor does it like Steam Overlay. So it's a Steam game that doesn't like the Steam Overlay. So while you can open the overlay, I suggest not doing anything there, like launching the FPS counter as I tried to do in-game a couple times, which subsequently crashed it, and other reports have cited it as an issue as well. Speaking of the FPS, it is locked at 30 like the PlayStation 2 version was. While it states that it is based on the PlayStation 3 port, the PlayStation 2 version, the PlayStation 3 port of the PlayStation 2 version, that information was not originally made available, and it's badly done there. I will just bring up the original launch of the Tales of Symphonia on GameCube. On the GameCube that I played, ran at 60 FPS. So I played the superior version. Oh yes, yes. Let's see. So let's see here. What else do we have? He goes on. Demon Fang. Let's see. Additionally, battle controllers. There are only 6 save slots, and for some unknown reason, of course, at least unlike the Telltale, the porters figured out which of what save slot is. Let's see. Or of course, at least unlike Telltale, the porters figured out what a save slot is. Okay. Also, in at least one spot, there is remnants of the PS3 button controls, even when you're using the keyboard out there. And note, you can't use your mouse in the menus either. So it's all to your controller, which I'm not going to harsh the game too badly for. Be a Kuaz. If you're playing this game, you're probably playing with a controller. I mean, I know you can. The option of keyboard and mouse is there, but why would you do that when this game was built for controllers? So don't be a dingus. One last little bit here is that it happens to be traces of secure ROM in the executable. Now, whether or not this is a legacy check, a case of using Sony's secure ROM launcher, or actually we don't know. In this case, it behooves everyone to be extra careful, especially on Windows 10, as it may or may not run there at all. There also seems to be unconfirmed reports of De Novo, which, if you're not familiar, is a very shitty anti-piracy piece of software, but let's continue, being on there as well. It is in this fact possible that the secure ROM launcher is there because De Novo, given their partnership with Sony. We'll update as we learn more from this point. So, okay. Okay, so here, what's a bit odd is there are some parts of the port that show a bit of care. Like the keys in the keyboard and mouse are almost completely rebindable through the options menu. Additionally, the game is easily switches most prompts between keyboard and controller based on what you used for the last input. So if after you move your controller, the prompts all switch to controller. Let's see, or at least the Xbox One controller prompt. I can't confirm if it if or how it will work for PlayStation controllers. Even more, the controls for the controller, while not totally rebindable, are largely tweakable as you can move around an area where you want a particular one. So basically, different controller setups. So one final fail port here. Apparently, they can't even remember who their character are. Let's see, wait. Apparently, they can't even remember who their character are in this picture of Zelios labeled Mythos. Let's see. So, yeah. Port issues abound. If you want to read the whole story, it's by, like I said, Dan Parsons here at TechRaptor. And again, I don't have too much to say about this. Other than, like I said, I've seen this be an issue with PC ports as of late. Close us on out here. And it's not just Tales of Symphonia. Let me see if I can pull up some more recent editions. Let's pull up some featured items here. Tales of Symphonia is one. And a number of other titles that originally were released on console. Basically, you see this with a lot of console ports. And you'd wonder, they as the article advised, it's marketed as a HD title. So you would figure they spent a little time, touching up bugs and fixing things that they knew were going to be issues for the PC, and they just didn't. It's a mess. But like I said, again, another game that I wasn't going to buy in the first place because I played it already for the PC, or for the GameCube, I should say, back in 2000 something or another, and I didn't particularly like it back then. It was a satisfactory, kind of RPG experience, but it was nothing to write home about. Again, maybe that was just my bias, having played Star Ocean and confirming that is the best JRPG ever to exist. But I just found it not the most compelling gameplay or story. It was the best kind of mediocre that there is, I guess. But Apocolypse Watch. That's my Apocolypse Watch corner is about to kick off here in just a second. Because I've been talking about nothing but video game nonsense the whole show for the most part. So it's time for me to go off on a little deviant track as I move forward here. So let me pull this up. Let's see. Let's get my notes pulled up here. Yeah, we'll start from here. This will be a nice little diversion. User joined your channel. Oh. Oops. Sound muted. There we go. I was in a TeamSpeak there, and someone just popped right on in. But unbeknownst to them, I'm in the middle of some business here, so I'll have to get back to them and let them know what I was up to later here. In the meantime, let me see if this internet is working. No, it's not. So I'm gonna have to pull this up. There we go. Oop. As soon as I can get it to work. That's not it. Okay, let's see if that'll do it. Oh, yeah, that's it. This is my Apocolypse Watch. Specifically, it's I guess this will be a thing where I talk about the most likely ways that we'll all die horribly. Although, to be honest, this methane leak's not that bad, but it's pretty bad. So let me go ahead and read it. If you're not familiar with this, a methane leak in, let's see, let me go ahead and first credit here. Who do we have? By Tia Ghost. A methane leak in Southern California has forced thousands of people from their homes. Although the gas first began spewing from a leaky underground well in October, the gas company only recently identified the source of the leak. Now, officials with the company say it could be months before the methane leak is stopped. But what exactly caused the methane leak in the first place? And how will it affect those in the surrounding areas? Here are 5 things to know about the Southern California methane leak. So, this is some food for thought. Let's see. Methane is a simple hydrocarbon made up of 1 carbon atom and 4 hydrogen atoms, and is produced when microorganisms called methogens combine carbon dioxide and oxygen. Wow, that's so terribly interesting. It is the main constituent in the natural gas that is used for heating and cooking in homes. By itself, methane is colorless and odorless. When it is processed for use in homes, an odorant is added so that people will be able to smell it if there is a gas leak. Scientists say that vast stores of methane are buried beneath the seafloor, locked into a cage-like crystal of water molecules, making it stable. Other huge sources of methane are the organic matter frozen into the permafrost of the Arctic. The methane that is leaking probably isn't part of California's natural reserves. Most of the methane that is used in Southern California homes actually comes from somewhere else, typically West Texas or Southern Colorado. It is transported to California via a massive network of interstate pipelines. That's interesting. Okay, it originated underground. It is an environmental disaster. So here's the part I want to touch on. Since October, the leak has released 150 million pounds, or 72,000 metric tons, of methane into the environment, according to the Environmental Defense Fund, which has tracked the leak using infrared cameras. That could be bad news for the climate, as methane is a greenhouse gas like carbon dioxide, but pound for pound, methane can be 25 times more powerful than carbon dioxide at trapping heat in the Earth's atmosphere. So that's, I'm sure, going to do wonders for California's drought it's undergoing at the moment. Methane that enters the atmosphere takes about 12 years to break down. Holy jeebers! It is mostly removed from the air by chemical reactions and other compounds. Let's see. As told, the current leak could be responsible for a quarter of all the state's methane emissions this year, and could be the worst methane leak in California's history. So if you want to watch the whole YouTube video that shows it, but I'm not going to get into that right now. It's dangerous. Okay, so here's number 4 of their list here. See, this methane leak could also be dangerous for people who live in Porter Ranch. Let's see, methane is highly flammable, not surprising. It is used for combustion in both gas stoves and rockets. Depending on its concentration in the air, it can also be dangerous to inhale methane fumes because methane can occupy the same space in blood cells that oxygen normally does. Symptoms of methane exposure include headache, nausea, vomiting, dizziness, weakness, and loss of coordination, according to the National Institute of Health. In serious cases, some people may black out or die. More than 2,000 residents of Porter Ranch, California, have been evacuated from their homes after people complained of headaches and nosebleeds. Goodness, I knew it was bad. I didn't know it was that bad. 2 Los Angeles Unified School District schools have also closed in response to the methane leak. Let's see, and like I said, it could take months to fix. So let's take a look-see. To stop the leak, the gas company said it plans to drill a relief well at 5,000 feet, or 1,524 meters, or below the level of the current leak, to divert the methane flow. Then the company plans to temporarily plug the leaking well with a mixture of mud and fluids before sealing it permanently with cement. So it sounds like some kind of fracking business where they're going to pump a whole bunch of chemicals into the ground. So, I'm sure that's going to do great for California's already waning water table. Just have all kinds of disgusting God knows what floating around in what's left of their water supply. Great move. It's gonna turn out great. So this will still be a tricky process as it involves using magnetic ranging techniques to find a 7-inch or 17.8 centimeter pipe located within 1,500 feet or 457 meters of rock, while not damaging other pipes nearby. So what it sounds like they're trying to do is like trying to pick at a pipe that is interwoven into a series of pipes. So they're going to have to make sure they don't bust any of these other pipes up trying to fix their already broken problem. The workers will also have to stop their work if air concentrations of the methane get too high and pose a possibility of explosion or health risk. So if they don't contain this in time, or even while trying to contain it, there's a good chance they'll end up blowing up a good portion of these hills that methane is leaking out of. Let's see, where the Southern Valley, or what do they call it, Southern California. But what a wonderful mess that is. On the scale of like 1 to 10 for my Apocolypse watch, I'll probably rate this like a 2 out of 10. Like, there's not going to be too much happening out of this, I don't think. I sincerely hope not. You know, it could definitely cause some trouble for California, but the chance of it like igniting our atmosphere or blowing up and causing a chain reaction of earthquakes is fairly slim, I would say. See, this whole process could be completed by late February or early March, the gas company said. So hopefully not too far away. But yeah, today is a filler episode. It was supposed to be my December episode, but as December came to an end and I was knee deep in Clanwars, I had very little energy, time to really focus on putting together a show. So here it is, my rushed, my poorly done January 2nd, December 1st late episode. So now I have to get started on January's episode, which will be rushed as well, I think. Although, like, it's just gonna be one per month. So hopefully, I can actually manage to do something worthwhile. We'll see. Like I said, I just gathered up a couple different articles and decidedly to talk about stuff I was interested in for this little quick read. But that about nails it. I was going to talk about plans for new content. Content-wise, like I said, basically what I talked about last time was doing shorter little like stopgap bits and bobs kind of stuff. And like I said, that's going to be coming down the pipe here hopefully soon. But as I work to create more stuff, I'm hoping to collaborate with somebody here pretty soon and get content going out at a more reasonable pace. But like I said, we'll have to focus on that as it comes. But no, at 51 minutes and 48 seconds, I think that's about as much as I'm willing to talk about right now. I'm buck tired. I have tanks I have to start playing here pretty soon, and I think that about does it. That's all for the show. I'll turn on my bumper music here in just a second to kind of close us out, and hopefully my show for January, which is I said it'll be towards the end of this January, will be a bit better than my December late show that we've had thus far. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to me rant and poke out some interesting internet articles, which I will post here in the description. Take it easy, folks. Have a nice day. Get out of here. Get out. We're shutting her down. We're shutting her down right now. Get out of here.